Hey guys, it's Mike Monte, one half of Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. And we want to reach out to all the fans out there who have supported our show to say thank you. Thank you for making 2021 one of our best years. And one of our best years was because of Anchor. Anchor, the way that you can have your voice heard. You can be just like us. Record your own podcast. Use the Anchor tools to edit your podcast. Use it on a phone. Use it on your computer. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all with Anchor, they're totally free. So be just like Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte and the Pharaoh. We're looking together for a great 2022. We've got huge guests coming on board. Oh, yeah. You probably wonder why Jimmy's not here right now. Well, he's prepping for one of the best interviews we're about to have, and we're going to surprise someone with. So hang aboard with us, and don't forget, be like us and use Anchor.
Sir?
Ah.
Manscaped?
Uh-huh.
Have you tried the new equipment that's been sent?
I'm afraid because it says weed whacker. I'm scared.
Maven, Manscaped, what are you thinking about
Love
Manscaped,
it.
dude?
Love it.
What do you use it for?
Necessity. What don't I use it for? Put it this way. The only hair I have on my entire body is these eyebrows.
Yeah.
That you see. These
Wow.
caterpillars racing to the middle of my nose. That's it.
That is it.
That's all I have. And that's all I want.
That's the
So
pic-
Manscaped is a must.
We were talking before the show. There's nothing worse than just hair.
Yeah.
Right? Hair on a woman, hair on a man. It's just bad.
Absolutely. And it's the one thing that the older I get, it starts growing more in unwanted areas.
Absolutely.
I hate it.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Just going to go out there.
Oh, boy.
Go for it.
You're doing a deed.
Yes.
Again, I don't want you to have to admit this because we, as men, we try not to admit this. But if you're going to go
I
do
know
the deed
where-
on a woman,
I know where
would you
he's
rather
going.
have her be hairless or a little hair, racing stripe, or
Racing stripe.
full retro bush?
Racing stripe.
Retro Bush is out.
Yes, thank you.
Retro Bush is out.
Yeah.
I don't mind a small, well-manicured landing strip. Every now and then, if it's completely, and I'm talking like baby's ass bald, then I start. Where is that pedophilia line? I don't want to
Wow.
wander into that.
That's very
Worded it like
interesting.
that.
I never thought about that.
Wow.
You're a smart dude. Holy shit.
So if the landing strip is clean enough for the plane to go in smoothly, you're cool with that?
If the landing strip has, like I said, well manicured,
Yeah,
you can see both sides. It's not
Like blinking lights on both sides of that
I
landing?
just don't. I don't want. I don't want the shrubbery going off into unwanted areas on that. As well.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Oh, look
but-
what you found. Ooh.
I got to be all honest though. Hey, the older I get though, I don't think I can be as.
I found it! I found
have
it!
you ever gone down there and she slowly brings down the underwear? Then
What is
retro? Just,
Absolutely.
You're like, whoa!
Wow,
Yeah, I'm
like
46,
it pops
of course.
out?
Do you like walk out or what do you do?
No, I muster through. I muster up the courage to get
He's
through.
a trooper. He's a trooper. Gotta give him an A.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Yeah,
There you
no,
go.
I hear you.
There you
Listen,
go.
I couldn't
Super
say.
Bush.
I couldn't say. Well, if you have the same beliefs as Maven, does Manscaped could help you?
Absolutely.
The weed whacker.
Absolutely.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I may have to, go in a room, close the door, and hang out with the weed whacker for a little while.
Yeah, I think you're a retro guy, aren't you?
I like 70s adult films, if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
But with that,
Ron
we're going to take a
Jeremy,
quick
Batman.
commercial break, and we'll be
Anyway.
back with this wrestling icon, Maven.
We will see you in a drop kick second.
Drop kick.
Hey everyone, Chris Centennial, Sports Talk 101. Today I'm at the Country Club of Big Ron Shaw, and the question we're asking today is, should Monte apologize to Ron? So what's your thought? Should Monte from the Monte and Pharaoh show apologize to Big Ron Shaw?
Absolutely. I don't believe that Monte should have said what he said, and I definitely believe he should apologize to Ron Shaw for what he had said.
Sir, what do you think? Should Monte apologize to Ron Shaw?
Monty apologized to Shaw? Hell yeah! And he's the champion. Hall of Famer, of course.
Sir, do you have an opinion? Should he apologize?
Most definitely. When you have a Hall of Famer and you want to insult him, that's a bunch of bull crap. He should be apologizing to him.
Thank you. Sir, do you have an opinion on Ron Shaw? Should he?
Monte apologize to him?
Hell, I don't even like Crenshaw.
Hey, who the hell are you?
You talking to me like
your own business, man. You get all drunk, you?
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here. Monte, the people have spoken. Step up to the plate and deliver me the apology that I so rightfully deserve. I told you, you're a punk. And I'm going to tell you, our paths are going to cross again.
All right, welcome to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monte and a Pharaoh only seat here out of Indie Music TV and Ron Konkama. At the board is our producer, the amazing Spidey. Spidey, how are you?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Spidey, tell the fans out there you're on your way to Puerto Rico. You won't be with us Thursday or for the Saturday show with Sinister Minister, right?
Yes, I'll be missing those two shows, but then I'll be back.
Thank
have a good time
God.
in Puerto Rico.
So we're trying to decide, do you think we should go with the Abe or what's the girl's name?
Tori.
Abe or Tori?
You're asking me live on the air.
Yeah.
Abe or
Tori?
Tori? I don't know. Spidey, what do you got to say about Tori? I'll throw you on the grill.
I trained her, so I have confidence. I've never met Abe.
Okay. You have confidence.
Yes.
Should I be confident that Spidey has confidence?
I would be.
That sounded like a glowing endorsement to you?
Not glowing, but...
He said he has confidence.
Maria
Confidence
Davis,
in what? Turn on the computer?
Maria
What do you have
Davis.
confidence in?
Maria Davis says, hello, Spidey.
Hi, Maria.
What's going on with Maria and Spidey, by the way? I'm starting to notice that there might be something.
Maria's an attractive lady, and Spidey's an attractive man.
Wow, basic math.
Basic
Yeah,
math.
never mind.
By the
All
way,
right.
R.J. Hudson says Ron Shaw should apologize to Monte.
What's going
He goes on a podcast because he doesn't want to answer a question. He calls you a punk. What a joke. Did you enjoy the most recent Ron Shaw video?
Ron's putting me in a tough spot.
How come?
Because when I see saliva being projected,
Yeah, he spit on
he
me.
spit. And
Gave
I
me
was
the
like,
Iron Sheik.
He's putting me in a rough spot here. I mean, I really like Ron Shaw, but he's getting borderline now with the spitting. It kind of unsettled me. I'm not sure.
John, welcome. Good to see you. Jason, good to see you. Luce, great to see you.
What up? What up? What up? What up?
Who else we got here? A mess in the house.
Of
How are you,
course.
buddy?
Always a mess in the
Phil,
house.
how are you? Right. ESO Creative. ESO has the after show right after us.
Hit it, Bruce.
I had to give ESO a little tongue lashing this morning.
What? Why?
Because he's consistently late with his videos.
Is he really?
Yes.
Why is that?
And you know how I'm a stickler for that.
What
right?
did he have an excuse for his tardiness?
He said he's working.
He's working.
He gave me a bunch of excuses. His back hurts. He's working. A million things.
He's working. I know that you and Vince McMahon probably have the same work schedule. What do you mean he's working?
That's exactly.
What are you
That's
talking?
I said
Have you
excuses.
seen me work lately?
Yes, exactly.
You guys don't want to know what I make, but have you seen me work
But
lately?
Jared, I'm never gonna live.
I didn't say
the
anything.
comment down
I
forever.
I didn't
It'll
say anything.
continue to keep.
That was
coming
a
and
subtle
coming.
reference. What?
That's a subtle reference.
Yeah, that was very
You've
subtle.
only referenced it 18 times before the show.
Before
even
the show
started.
doesn't count. We're on the air now. Nothing before we go on the air counts.
People were asking what we were doing, and I said you were talking about. We were talking about anal sex.
Before the show?
Yeah, before the show.
Yeah, we were. We're
And
weird.
the mess says, "I have my mind in the gutter."
Yeah, well, where does that leave my mind?
Well, yeah, you were really the one talking about anal sex.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a thing. It is what it is.
It's
You
a
know?
thing.
It's a thing. Either some people are horrified by it, and other people embrace it. I'm from Greece. Do the math.
Jesus Christ.
What?
The first lady in the house. Show some respect for the first lady there, Pharaoh.
I always have respect.
Brandon
Don't put me in a
Wise,
hot
how
spot
are
with Maria.
you?
I love Maria.
Roy Batista. in the house.
Roy
I
Batista,
can't.
what is up?
I can't.
What is up?
And, and I said ESO. And R.J. Hudson's in the house.
Okay.
It was good to see R.J.
Absolutely. So, what's up, RJ?
A little bad news, unfortunately. Tried
news.
the best I could. Hollywood John Tatum has ghosted the show.
Maybe he read Marty's handbook.
You know what? It's a good point.
It's possible. Look, sometimes it's the luck of the draw with these guys. You never know what the fuck. They go, hey, I love your show. I can't wait to come on. Then you're freaking, are you ready for the show? Hello?
Well, no, but then it's like,
where are you? What are you talking about?
Are you doing the show tomorrow? Yes.
Right.
Okay, can I have your email address because I have to send you everything? Ghost. Leave them messages, Ghost. So I actually, this is the first time I've really failed at this. Okay. I went to the bullpen. I was making calls today to the bullpen because I wanted,
we have a strong bullpen too. We do. Okay.
I wanted to know what you thought. I didn't want to tell you because I was going to surprise you, but
what? You had anal sex?
I was gonna have Judy. I was looking to get Judy Martin on.
Get out of here!
How cool would that have been?
That would have been fair. Where's Velvet? Velvet McIntyre.
I didn't look for Velvet. I didn't look for her.
Judy Martin. Nice. What happened?
She was working.
You hear that, Bruce? She was working. Get those tapes in, Bruce, on time.
If I could have probably got her earlier, I could have pulled this one off. But
that would have been awesome.
I didn't make the call till like 6 o'clock.
Martin.
Like 5:30, 6 o'clock.
That would have been really cool.
I mean, and then I started looking for old WCCW guys, right, to fill in for Tatum.
Okay.
And most of them were working.
Okay.
So, I'll make it up to everybody, so I apologize. I mean, I really hate when this happens. It's really annoying.
It comes with the business, unfortunately.
All right.
What happens.
A little wrestling news. Solo Sikoa smiled because he got married. One of the many heartbreaking things about the saga of the Bloodline is that without Sami Zayn in the group, there's no one that could get the stoic Samoan to laugh unless he gets married. What do you think?
Is this a joke? Did he really get married in real life?
Really got married.
This ruins everything for me. I didn't think he was the marrying type.
I think he's living high in the hog now, right?
Is he living?
He's living high in the hog. He's in the Bloodline.
He's a
on
superstar.
The main roster. He's a superstar.
He's a future world champion. Too.
The guy just a few months ago was in NXT, right? And he wasn't in NXT
do you
for a
think
very
he's a
long
future
time.
world champion? Because I do.
It's a good question, man.
Is he really just destined Solo
Phil
Sikoa
says,
to be?
Velvet, the original fiery redhead.
Velvet, freaking McIntyre.
You like the feet?
Dig those toes.
You like
Absolutely.
Ooh.
I'm kidding, folks.
Do you like toes?
You're making me out to look like... Absolutely not. Why? I'm Greek. I didn't say that I jump for the feet.
You do all this other stuff, but...
What is all this other stuff?
When it comes to the toes, that's it.
You know what my favorite...
I draw the line at the toes!
Listen, I'm going to keep this simple about all this other stuff.
Okay.
My favorite album from Judas Priest is Point of Entry. So I don't look at toes and go, there's a place to go.
Is your favorite,
what is wrong with you?
Your favorite song is Heading Out to the Highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you trying to tell me? Go ahead. What?
Maybe the name of the song should be Heading Out to the
Hershey Highway.
That's where I'm...
Wait a minute! With almonds?
This is out of control.
Yeah, well, you started it. Sorry, folks. We'll try to keep it cleaner after this. I'm sorry.
All
It's all him anyway.
So a few weeks ago, when we did... Who were we interviewing? But we spoke about that New Jersey girl.
Yeah.
Who... 14, he got beat up in a New Jersey high school.
Yeah.
And she took her life. And it was about a week later, I saw it on 2020 again, too.
Okay.
And they show the beating and everything else.
Okay.
And then most recently, a boy allegedly beat a female teacher aide over at Nintendo, faces up to 30 years. According to Deppa, the suspect would beat her up every time she takes away his game.
Okay.
Adding that he spit on her while deputies dragged him away. In the body cam footage, the boy asks if he's going to jail while being handcuffed. I don't want to go to jail. I have more important things to do, he yells back at him.
Like playing Nintendo.
Pharaoh, all seriousness.
Yeah.
Talk to me about bullying. And the reason I bring this up now is I think bullying has been a part of life forever and ever and ever. And,
yes.
Right?
Yep.
Is it worse now?
I can't answer. I'm not a kid now. I wouldn't claim to answer for the kids of today. They could answer that. Hey, Jared, how bad was bullying when you went to school?
Honestly, it really wasn't that bad. At least for me.
Did you notice it being bad for others?
No, I didn't see really any bullying, to be honest.
Well, I guess that, I'm not going to say that Spidey is the be-all, end-all, but considering he's a young guy,
Right.
bullying was torture when we were kids. Absolute torture. It could scar you forever. And to be quite honest, I've got a few still hanging around, So,
do you think, and again,
I took care of that, though.
I'm not victim shaming.
Yeah.
But do you think the girl had some mental problems or she was weak?
I can't say.
You had some bullying, right?
She's
you
14
talked about,
years
talked
old,
about bullying.
man.
Did you ever think about ending your life over bullying?
No, I thought about ending the bully's life.
Right. So you weren't directing that at you.
No, I never thought there was anything wrong with me. As you can see, I still don't think there's anything wrong with me to this day, even though I know there possibly is something wrong with me.
Right.
But that's okay. No, it was the bully that I wanted to, just rip out his guts, basically.
So the girl told her father, she said, I don't want to be that girl that's on the TikTok video getting her ass kicked. Mm-hmm. So I guess she couldn't deal with it. So do you think it's even worse now because now you could go viral and all this stuff can go on?
It's worse if you're doing something like that. Who the hell is posting that anyway? What kind of scumbag move is this? It's very unfortunate that that's what happens nowadays. I would never want to be that person. I think when you asked me about it a couple of weeks back, that's what I said. Could you imagine being bullied and abused and then everybody sees it? Not just the kids in your school. It was bad enough that you were known as a guy that could be pushed around.
Right.
You know what's funny? I remember the day that it stopped. It stopped because I picked up a chair and threw it at somebody. That's how it stopped.
Right.
What's the moral to that story?
There is none.
There's usually only one way to deal with a bully.
Well, I was thinking
that's really the moral to the story.
I was thinking if
you got the guts to do it, do it.
What if you peed
Maybe
your
it'll
pants
stop.
one day, right?
Good for me.
It happens, right? You pee your pants, right? I can imagine, right?
Okay.
You couldn't
Especially
make it to
now that
the
we're
bathroom.
older.
I'm not talking about us now, but you know what I mean. But it's like, could you imagine being ripped apart virally because of
Look,
something?
We've seen even in the early days of this show, fucking absolute keyboard monsters. You know what I mean? We've seen them.
Well, YouTube's handled that because those keyboard monsters are gone now.
Right.
So I don't know.
Right. We've seen plenty of them.
I started thinking, right, and I don't know. I also got back on an '80s kick again. So on my Sirius radio, I put on '80s with 8. I kind of got away from it. I was back into some '90s music or whatever else. Mm-hmm. One thing I'm not into, dude, I got to be honest with you, is classic rock. I don't know why. I guess we've got fed so much of it growing up.
So if you hear Led Zeppelin, you're pretty much like, geez, again?
Yeah, kind of. Even now, even when I don't even listen to them, I'm like, I don't really want to listen to Zeppelin.
You know what I found? I've become selectively obsessed with certain bands from the classic rock period.
Right.
And I'll hone in on them. You know what I mean? As much as I love Led Zeppelin, and I had every single album, I have to admit, thanks to the radio and the overplaying and the overplaying and the overplaying, I don't tend to run to Led Zeppelin nowadays. I already know every song in every bar. I know them all. Other bands I've focused on and I've never become tired of. So I guess it really depends on the band. Oh, there's no bands you're into at all? You don't have a phase where you're listening to a lot of Triumph?
Nah, listen, so that's funny. We were talking about Rush yesterday, me and my wife.
Great.
And I asked her where Rush ranked on her thing. She goes,
great.
I don't really like Rush. I said, I got to be honest with you, I'm not a Rush guy either. I'm more of a Triumph guy. If you want to compare bands, right? Both Canadian.
Very interesting.
Right? And I know that Triumph was the poor man's Rush.
That's what they say, but I say bullshit. They're both great bands. It all depends on what you like more. I feel Rush is superior to Triumph. However, personal memories, Triumphs over Rush.
There you go. Very good. Lou says if you played football in the 90s high school, somebody tried to bully you, usually on a weekly basis.
Absolutely.
So,
I can see that.
Back to what I said. I got on a little bit of 80s kick, and I watched My Bodyguard. Do you remember that movie?
Oh, God, I love that movie.
So I don't want to get into that yet.
Oh, such a good movie.
So I started thinking, okay, I'm going to start picking up the biggest bullies from the 80s. Because if I just took in movies, right?
Oh, I
and
love
then I'll
this.
get to the point, but I want you to chime in on them.
I
all
may
right?
not know a lot of these, believe it or not.
right.
You know that I was busy being
I
in
understand.
bands and chasing girls.
I think you will, most of them anyway.
Well, here's the ultimate prick.
David from the Lost Boys,
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, he's a douchebag.
right? What was it?
Yeah.
What's his name?
It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time. I have to go back and watch that again.
And the order I have is from 10 to 1.
Okay.
Johnny Lawrence from The Karate Kid.
What a dick. No, he
Now,
is
by the
true.
way, in Cobra Kai, they kind
He's
of
the
reverse
man.
it. He is.
He's the man.
And you know
He's
what? You
awesome.
start to see his side of it.
Absolutely.
Because think about it.
Machio's not so
Machio
cool.
steals his girlfriend.
He's a jerk.
Steals his girlfriend.
jerk.
Yeah. And hold on. At the beach, he goes to talk to Allie.
Right.
And Machio tells him, back
Right.
off.
Right.
Fuck you, new guy.
Right.
Right? Is he really such
Right.
a bully?
Dude, let's face it. Machio never should have won that last fight in the Karate Kid. He should have got his ass kicked.
I think so.
Dude, stop with the swan thing.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Now
not
that I'm
fair.
all grown up and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
I ain't rooting for him. Get him out of here.
Thank you.
Go heel. Yeah, well, we are wrestling fans after all. Who's next? Who's next?
The Heathers from Heathers. I don't know
Why
if you
the
know that
fuck?
movie.
I don't remember. The Heathers? What is this about?
Heathers is a pretty good movie, man.
Was it?
Yeah, you get a chance.
Who's
to
in
see
it? I don't even remember this
chick from
one.
90210's in
Okay,
it.
okay. We got some 90210. No.
All
That's
right.
what I used to call
this
that
one
show.
you should know.
What do you
Chet
got?
from Weird Science.
Okay, douche. Yeah, dude,
Bully.
look. I'm a dick. Look at that picture. I'm a dick. Oh, my God. What a hell. Look at those teeth. Wow. Anyway.
Steph from Pretty in Pink.
Okay, yeah. She was
The
a real
rich
bitch.
guy. He was a rich guy. Really annoying.
I was not a fan of Pretty in Pink. Why?
Why
Explain that
weren't
one
you?
to me. I don't know.
Did
Why
you like Breakfast Club?
I loved Breakfast
How
Club.
great were the 80s, man? I'm sorry, you guys. If you didn't grow
No,
up
we
in
were
the
very
80s,
lucky.
We were pretty lucky.
We were lucky. I mean,
Jared, do you understand what you missed being in the 80s?
has Jared seen The Breakfast Club?
I actually have. That's a great movie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have to clap for that one. Good
That's
for you,
one of
Jared.
the movies that
What a great movie.
you never
man.
want it to end. You just want the story to keep going.
Yeah.
Like you don't want it to
Hey,
end.
Jared, you know which one I was, right? This is what happens when you spill paint in the garage in my house. That was me. I'm the guy at the end that goes like this in,
Yeah, I
the,
can
in,
see
the
it.
field because he got to kiss the hot girl.
Absolutely.
That's me. Absolutely. What a great movie
Mick
that was.
McAllister from Teen Wolf.
Oh God, what a dick! Oh, he was such a dick. Wasn't this the debut of the main man, Teen
Yeah.
Wolf, Michael J. Fox?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Did he
had
do
the
this?
TV
Did
He
he
was
do
doing
th-
Family Time.
No, I
already.
understand
Yeah.
that. I mean, as far
This
as
was
movies.
his first. Yeah, I think so. I think it's before.
It
Back
came
to the Future.
before Back to the
Yes,
Future. I'm
absolutely.
pretty
Yeah.
sure it did.
All right, here's one.
Okay.
Stan Gable from Revenge of the Nerds.
How dare this douchebag pick on those nerds? How dare him? Where's the picture? We don't got a picture of this one.
I think Jared might have missed it.
All I know is his spaz with the javelin. What a great movie Revenge of the Nerds was. That was
All right,
just.
so yeah, you got
That,
it.
put this
Chad
guy up.
Gable,
Look
there
at
it
this.
is. Chad
It's just
Gable.
the biggest steaming dick you've ever seen. Is it the
So
thing?
it looks
wrapped-
like my rankings are working well here.
I love your rankings. Look at the thing wrapped around him. Isn't it like a sweater?
Yeah.
I want to punch him right in the face. Look at that
All right.
guy.
So at the start of the conversation, we spoke about My Bodyguard, right? So
Oh.
I very rarely get to
Great
see
movie.
these type of movies because they're not shown.
Okay.
And it was on HBO Max.
Don't show him yet, Spidey.
So-
Don't show him yet.
Anyway, my point is,
Go ahead. God, I love this movie.
I was thinking about the girl who got bullied.
Okay.
And so I'm watching this movie through different eyes
Okay.
now, right?
Okay.
And I'm saying to myself, boy, oh boy, these movies give white people a bad name,
We're
right?
awful.
Because it's just like the wimpiest bullies of all time. So if you haven't seen My Bodyguard, it's a rich kid who lives in a hotel with his father. I don't know if you want to call him a rich kid.
Mm-hmm.
Starts in a new school, and the bully to school is Matt Dillon.
Throw him up,
And-
Jared. And as you throw him up, Mike, I got to tell you.
Go ahead.
What makes him, outside of the Karate Kid, the greatest bully ever,
Go ahead.
is the fact that Matt Dillon is an excellent actor. He's great at this. He was so great in this role.
Oh.
Matt Dillon's a killer actor.
He's a great
He's
actor.
a great fucker. Oh, where is Matt Dillon today? Does he still do stuff?
Yes, still
I mean,
does
you know, I don't
movies.
have a TV, so
Still
you
does
might as well.
movies, plenty of them.
Oh God, I loved him. What a great look at that mug. You're going to tell me that's not a bully?
He's a
Wow.
prototypical bully.
He was fantastic. But what about My Bodyguard himself? You got a picture of The Bodyguard?
Well, we've got a picture of.
Oh,
before you
no,
put the
this
picture
guy.
of the actual other guy, do you have the picture of? Can you pull up a picture of the bodyguard? My bodyguard.
From My Bodyguard,
Yeah.
Spidey.
So I'm
Wow.
watching. I'm
He was so great.
I'm watching this.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to
I
myself.
watched this recently.
Really?
Yeah. I love
Still
this
great,
movie.
right?
It's
Still
so
great.
great. I love this movie.
So the kid goes to this new high school. Matt Dillon's the bully, and this kid's a smartass, right? Because he likes to have fun or whatever, and he's a kid from Meatballs.
By the way, he played Meatball, another good movie.
Right.
But he played such a perfect victim, by the way, in
Yep.
this movie.
Yep.
Great victim.
Matthew Holland writes.
Well, that's a great picture, Spidey.
Matthew Holland writes. Matt Dillon died.
When?
He didn't die. That's Matthew Holland.
Matt has everybody dying.
He does.
Matt, are you dead? What is going on here?
So the kid's getting picked on by Matt
my God.
Dillon, and
Okay.
he hires this guy to be his bodyguard who has his other problem. I'm not going to tell you the whole movie.
It's such a great movie. Yeah,
So if you put that picture up of
Spidey,
the
throw
two
it.
guys, there's
there's the poor kid who's getting picked on, and the bigger dude obviously is his
the
bodyguard.
So Matt
What a
Dillon
great
goes
movie.
and hires himself his
own
bodyguard, right?
Spidey,
And-
show Matt Dillon's bodyguard. There we
he
go.
is.
He's coming up. There he is.
Now
Oh,
this
my
guy is the
God.
biggest pussy of pussies. He has a tank top on. His arms are like 2 inches. I'm like, this is the bodyguard.
Wait a minute. He rides a bike, though, doesn't he? No, he
No,
takes his
takes
bike.
his bike.
Oh, that pissed me off when he took his bike. Now we're giving away the film. We're not supposed to do that. Guys, if you haven't seen My Bodyguard, see it. But I agree with you. These two pricks, I hated them. I wanted to jump through the set in 1980 and pound them till the tubes in the TV
But I remember
exploded.
back when we were younger, we watched it. I used to think that guy Mike was so tough.
Dude, we were
But when
14
I
years
know, but
old.
when
I
you
was
look at him
skinny
now,
as a
you
toothpick.
look at him now, you're like, what?
I know.
It's like
I'd
you
beat-
came up to me, dude. I'd beat the
beat
living
the shit out of you. Well,
you wouldn't even know it hit you.
Well, you know what? We grew up. You became 270. I became 2-something and 6
Yeah.
feet tall. We're kind of like, we're not little guys. I mean, what a great movie. My
A
Bodyguard.
mess says Matt Dillon is great. Two of the best roles, Bunny in Platoon.
Yes. Yes.
No, that's not Matt Dillon.
What's Platoon?
That's Matt Dillon's brother.
Oh,
Mess.
is it?
Yes.
Wait a second. He's got
Yeah.
a brother? I didn't even know.
And he played Dallas
Wow.
in The Outsiders.
I really
yes,
should pay more
you are
attention to
correct.
television.
He played Dallas in The Outsiders. Now, look how skinny that guy's arms are, dude. It's like, come on.
Wait a minute. Who was in The Outsiders?
Matt Dillon.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, don't scare me and tell me it was his,
His
brother. That I don't
his,
even...
his
What's his
brother,
brother's name?
Is,
Chris Dillon or something? Who is it?
I forget. But it's his brother. Who
Okay,
plays
I didn't
it.
even realize that he had a
Matt
brother.
Dillon
Wow.
plays a role in. I don't know. There's so many roles.
Matt
but
Dillon was excellent. He was an
unbelievable.
excellent actor.
Look at that picture. Look at that picture.
Dude,
oh my God.
show the arm. Spidey, did you throw this up? You're right. This guy's got. That's his arms. That's your forearm.
That's what I'm saying. It's
What
like
the fuck
I'm
is
like I
going on?
remember this guy being so tough.
Wait a second. I'm more cut than he is.
Yeah.
I'm getting confused here.
But he was a bad guy.
How'd you feel about the Bodyguard? How great was the Bodyguard in My Bodyguard?
He's a great actor,
How
man. I love
great
that guy.
was he?
He's actually, and someone mentioned Platoon. He's actually in
When I think
Full
of-
Metal Jacket.
I was about to say Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Good stuff, man. I love this list. You did a great job.
So
with
my, I guess my whole point to you as Pharaoh is this: throughout lives, they made this is just '80s movies, right?
Right.
They made movies that the typical story of the supposed weakling being bullied,
Right.
and the bully
Eventually getting his comeuppance. His comeuppance.
Almost like
eventually.
pro wrestling in a lot of different ways.
Absolutely.
And I think to myself,
Absolutely.
like this young girl, I'm like, my heart pours out for her.
It should.
But
It
I also think like, why didn't you get your like look on the inside?
Some people are just not into confrontation, especially at a young age when you're still sorting out your feelings on the world. She was only 14 years old, man. Only 14, and listen, I didn't like confrontation.
Right. Understood.
To this day, I used to not like confrontation for fear of being assaulted or bullied.
Understood.
Now I'm afraid of confrontation about what I might do.
Right. Which is
either way
equally a problem.
Right.
Got
Either way, I was never comfortable with it as a young kid. You're still figuring out
by
your
the way,
life at
nor
14.
should anyone in this lifetime have to feel like
Dude, it's
they're
awful.
in a hostile environment.
I dreaded going to school.
That's what I'm saying. You go to school and it's a hostile environment.
Let me
Not
tell
good.
you, the biggest reason why I said fuck that school, and eventually I got my own, deal. It was because of bullying, subdivisions, societal bullshit. I was like, this is not the place for me. Fuck this. I wound up going to night school. I graduated early. I was like, I'm done with this shit. I'm not reporting to anybody, and I don't need to be cool for anybody.
Do you remember
and I
I
don't
said
give
it
a
made,
fuck
it made
what
people
you think
look
about
stupid,
me?
like white people look stupid?
Yeah.
I mean, the retaliation of the guy getting bullied is in the deli. He squirts them with mustard and ketchup. It's like that's his retaliation.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
come on, man. I mean,
yeah.
that's your fight back.
Yeah.
I'll squirt. It's even like Karate Kid.
Right.
What do? Sprayed him with a hose. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now they kicked his ass.
Right.
Now that was more realistic.
You know what was a great serious picture from the 80s that has been completely put in a box someplace and you just never see it ever? Was Sean Penn's first great movie, Bad Boys.
Oh, what a movie.
Paco
Holy cow.
Moreno.
Oh, my God.
That movie
movie's
it's
a
real.
very disturbing movie.
I'm sorry it's disturbing, but you know what? It probably happens every day somewhere. That is real life shit.
That is.
That's
And by
real
the
life
way, the
shit.
one,
Bad Boys with Sean Penn.
Guys, the
What
movie I was
a
thinking
movie.
with Matt Damon is Over the Edge.
Over the Edge.
Right? I haven't seen that in forever. Keith Sutherland played a pretty good bully in Stand By Me. Jason, you're 100% right. Wow.
What was the movie where Douglas just went berserk, Falling Down?
That's Falling Down.
How great is Falling Down?
I just want to answer something. John's
Sure.
asking what happened to Mondays with Marty's. It's scrapped.
We're trying
I don't
to
know
find
if
him.
it's scrapped. He disappeared on
He disappeared.
I mean, I was
He did
getting
the Marty
calls
thing.
every day to get this set up.
That's Marty.
And then,
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah. Yep.
Gone. And, like I said last week, I'm too busy to
You're not
chase
him. We're not gonna
people
chase
around.
Marty all over the
Now,
place.
listen, these guys are our friends. I
Yeah.
care about them. We
Yeah.
check in with each other, make sure everybody's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I speak to Pharaoh 2 times a week at most.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I'm not going to speak to Marty Jannetty 7 days a week.
Right.
It's
Right.
It's stressful enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I totally agree.
Marty's supposed to be in studio in May.
You know, we should start have this running across the screen. The plans and future preparations of this show do not necessarily reflect the plans of said wrestlers.
Well, I got to be honest with
Because
you.
you can plan all you want, but if they flake out on you or disappear or whatever's going on.
I understand things happen, but I got to tell you, I'm pretty pissed off about this John Tatum thing.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Well, that's what I mean. You don't reach out to me, ask me on the show, then cancel last minute last week because something came up,
Right.
which I understand.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Well, actually, I might have had the wrong date. Whatever. I don't remember.
Okay.
But anyway, then we go through this whole thing again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's just annoying.
Yeah.
And the reality of it, I got to be honest with you. I felt like if he was going to end up coming on, we would have had a nightmare just getting him to come on video properly.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Probably.
Again,
Do you
guys,
have your earbuds on?
Exactly.
Did you
Yeah,
turn
guys,
the volume
you
down?
Gotta, I mean, Jared, you could speak to us. How difficult is it sometimes to get some people to learn how to turn on their computer?
It's borderline impossible.
Yeah, there you go. That's
But we somehow make it happen.
Yeah.
Hey, you remember when the previous guy who was in here before you learned how to turn on the computer got excited? Okay.
all right, but we are talking about some guaranteed things that are going to happen. On March 11th at 3:30, we've got Sinister Minister along with Max the Impaler.
I happen to be a big fan of the Sinister Minister.
Are you really?
I really am.
Tell me why.
He's just cool and evil. I like it.
What side of the fence does he play on, you think?
Stop it! He's a guest of ours. You want to ask him about anal sex? Is that what you're getting at?
No, I do not.
What are you getting
Just
at?
ask him what team he plays for.
I
that's
don't
all.
know what team he plays for. We'll ask him when he comes. Which team do you
Are
play
you okay
for?
with that question?
If it comes out of your mouth,
There you go.
go ahead.
That's right.
I'll be right here going, what are you doing?
How about Max the Impaler? Excited about her?
I'm kind of scared.
Now let me
I'm
ask you
kind of
something.
scared.
Does anyone know? Do you know Max the Impaler?
I don't know enough.
Did you ever
I'm
hear
going
of
to
her
need to know.
beforehand?
Yeah, I actually did a little bit. I'm going to need to know a lot more beforehand. Very imposing.
March 19th, 11 a.m. Don't want to miss this. Monte and the Pharaoh meet PG-13 live and in studio.
That'll be rated R.
That's going to be rated death match. March 30th.
You hear that, Matt
the
Holiday?
Pitchman,
A death match.
Mitch Seinfeld in studio. Now, for people that may not know Mitch Seinfeld, I'll tell you, Mitch is one of the original pitchmans for QVC.
Yeah.
He was a very high-level pitchman on QVC.
Yep. That's a big deal, too,
It is
by
a
the
big
way.
deal.
That's a big deal.
And he was a wrestling promoter.
Yep.
So the guy has a lot of stories. It should be very cool.
Smart man.
May 5th in studio, Manny Fernandez.
That's just... I'm losing my shit.
I'm really surprised you.
Because he's a legend.
Why?
He's a PWI Inside Wrestling wrestler legend from Texas. He's a badass motherfucker. Manny Fernandez, Bruiser Brody, Manny Fernandez, Manny.
Wow.
Dude, that's big. That is big. Plus, Vietnam vet.
There you go.
Wow.
I really...
Hey, wait a second, Manny. And my boy,
Tommy Rich.
my boy, get the bong packed.
Tommy Rich is in studio.
Wildfire, light it up.
Here comes a wildfire.
Oh, I love Tommy. Great
To the
guy.
right is the star of the show, Mr. Jimmy Farrow, along with his partner, Bart Griggs. Make up the band, Wisteria Hall.
Bart, man.
Wisteria Hall sing such great songs as This Life, In My Dreams, Not Far Behind, Here Comes the Rain. You can find their music on the Wisteria Hall YouTube page. Sorry, guys, I am struggling.
Spit it out.
All right.
Spit it
want
out.
to hit like and subscribe. And if you think about like and subscribe for the Monte and the Pharaoh Show. Download Wisteria Hall music on Spotify, Apple Music, and Reverb Nation. Also, this Tuesday is the first episode of SOB Sports Network, headed by... Mantor.
That's Mantor.
Mantor
the Minotaur.
Mantor the Minotaur and Pia News from
That's going to be
WCW
awesome.
fame.
That should be real cool.
So that's going to be a little bit exciting. So that's
really
Tuesday at 9 p.m. It'll be posted. It's a canned show, so it'll be posted on Saturday, I believe. Monte and the Pharaoh can be seen on the Monte and the Pharaoh YouTube page, Monte and the Pharaoh Facebook Live page. Here's on iHeart Radio, Spotify, Anchor, the Monte and the Pharaoh Twitch TV page. And if you're lucky enough to live in New York, channel 115 every Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. and Saturday at 11:30 a.m. And channel 20 on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. We also want to thank the Intuitive Network, IN2UTIVE Network. Go on to an app, guys. Download it. It's for free. They've got documentaries. They've got movies. It's like it's a Netflix.
Really now?
And
nice.
Luckily enough, you get to see the Monte and the Pharaoh show on there. We'll be right back with no John Tolos.
Tolos?
John Tolos. Jesus Christ.
If we pulled that one off, Matt Holiday would want to know how it happened because he's really
Matt
into
Holiday.
death. It's not Matt Holiday?
Matt Holland.
Matt Holiday was a former Yankee, wasn't he? Oh, yeah.
Man, I'm rubbing off on you.
Wow, what's happening here? Matt Holland would be excited to know how we pulled that off.
We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Yeah, we'll see you after the sounds of silence. M&J Video Games and Collectibles. Sport and non-sport cards, wrestling items, autographed items. We buy, sell, and trade. M&J Video Games and Collectibles, located at 1049 Queen Street, Southington, Connecticut. Call us at 1-860-479-9223 or 860-93-GAMES. M&J Video Games and Collectibles. And Nitro's Garage for all your automotive needs. Call 646-675-2349. That's 646-675-2349. For all your automotive needs, Nitro's Garage. Ask for Jack.
Do you treat your dog as part of the family? Well, so do we. So why not celebrate your pup's birthday with the ultimate party box? Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Party Pup Info, and let us make your pup's party or any celebration perfection.
The Monte and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine. Yeah. All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monte the Pharaoh, only seen here out of Indie Music TV. Hey, a mess says, Gene Simmons was up here a month ago. I stood in line for 2 hours to meet the guy to get my Kiss figure signed. Then I found out after that to meet him, I had to spend $50 on his money bag vodka.
Why did Gene? I believe him. Why did Gene Simmons do that shit? You know, Gene is always chiseling. He's always chiseling, and
When is enough money enough money?
It's ridiculous. It really is. And Paul Stanley's done. So stop. Stop now. And I love Kiss. You know how much I love Kiss. Paul Stanley, I adore you, bro. Stop singing. It's time.
Well, the
Stop
guy's,
it.
what is he, 76 or something?
But
like
they're
that?
still he's not that far yet. He's getting there, but
He's in his 70s, right?
probably early 70s at this point. I just wish he'd stop. He's got to stop. You know. Now they finally admitted that they're singing to vocal tracks. They've been doing this for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Probably 5 or 6 years
Yeah.
they've been doing this. Although I got to admit, when I saw Kiss with Bart, we had pretty damn good. He didn't cheat that night. I didn't see him cheating,
Really?
and he got through it.
When
But
I
he
saw-
wasn't singing the way
I
he
was
did.
at the same concert, wasn't I, with my wife?
I didn't see him cheating that night. He didn't sing like he used to.
He was cheating. They sang
What he
Psycho
was
Circus.
doing was
he
dropping.
cheated.
He was
I thought he
dropping
cheated during Psycho
octaves.
Circus.
What he was doing was instead of "You're in the set," he was dropping to a lower octave, and Gene would compensate because Gene could still go
Right.
vocally.
You got you.
So basically, it was like, listen, what I can't do anymore, you're going to have to cover for me.
Interesting.
But this was right at the cusp of let's start using vocal tracks.
All right,
You know,
WWE
about 5
star
years ago.
Sonya Deville faces gun possession charges in New Jersey. WWE star Sonya Deville was arrested last month on gun possession charges in New Jersey. Police said Wednesday. Deville, whose real name is Daria Bernato, was Taco into custody.
Was Taco into
at the
custody?
Borgata Hotel Casino
At
and
the
Spa in
Borgata.
Atlantic City after a valet employee discovered a handgun in the vehicle that had been parked.
You got to be bummed about this. You love Sonya Deville.
Yeah, but I mean, you know,
No big deal.
it's like
What kind of gun was it?
a handgun.
Why did she feel? Oh, didn't someone? Wait a minute.
There you go.
You know what? Then why didn't she at least get it legalized so she can carry it?
It's not like she doesn't have the money.
And it's not like she doesn't travel often enough. It's just like get it legalized.
But let's think about it this way.
Should
Then
have got it legalized. What are you
she
doing?
lives. She lives in Florida.
That's
I
a bad
think,
move,
right?
Sonya. Get it
I don't know what
legalized.
the gun carrying law in Florida is.
Okay.
So maybe she is licensed in Florida.
Okay.
She came up to New Jersey.
You got to know the laws. You're traveling all the time.
I got to be honest with you. When something happens to
You gotta
someone
know.
like that, it must be very scary for them to travel around
Right.
thinking that who
Right.
knows what else can happen.
Isn't she a legitimate badass though?
Yeah, she is.
Wow. What do you need to? Just get the gun legalized, Sonya. You don't have it happen again. Good God.
A&E had their second installment on documentaries.
Okay.
The first one was NWO.
Right.
This one was with Jake the Snake Roberts.
Did he show up for his own documentary?
He did. Very good.
Very good.
Jake the Snake Roberts once had a dream other than becoming one of the biggest professional wrestling stars ever.
Okay.
Before Ariel Smith Jr. stepped into the ring, he hoped to be an architect, having a love for working with wood and buildings. But at 18, he decided to give wrestling a try to prove his toughness to his infamous father, Grizzly Smith. Roberts was expecting a triumphant night before heading to college, but instead was embarrassed during his match and scolded by his dad. It led to him praying to the devil to help him one day to become the biggest wrestling star ever.
And bigger than his father, huh?
Bigger than his father.
Okay.
So-
congratulations. You prayed to the devil. You're bigger than your father. Enjoy hell. So it's going to be a long time.
All right, so they really gimmicked this documentary out. They really try to be dark.
Okay.
And Jake was definitely doing the Jake Roberts thing.
I got you.
The gimmick.
Is that so, Michael?
Yeah, that type of shit.
Is that what he did?
Right.
All right.
And with his lines,
Yeah.
interesting facts, which I think a lot of people know already, is Grizzly Smith was married to a woman who had a daughter that was 12. When they used to drink a lot, when the mother passed out, he went in the 12-year-old's room, had sex with her, and then impregnated her, and which became Jake's mother. Then he left that lady and went and married Jake's mother. And it just goes on and on and on. The devil, Jake didn't have to pray to, because the devil was Grizzly Smith.
Yeah.
And
you're right.
But here, we were gonna have Jake in a few years ago when we first started. And that ended up being a fucking
and
problem.
He jaked out.
He jaked out.
Right.
But one question I was going to ask him, because everybody knows the story that Jake's been telling the story for a long time. Again, Sam Houston, the brother of Jake Roberts, didn't seem to have such a problem with his father, but Rockin' Robin was molested by Grizzly Smith. She actually gets emotional in this video. But this is what I was going to ask Jake. So in this video, it talks about how he hated his father. If anyone knows this, when Jake first got into the WWE, do you know who one of the lead bookers was?
Who that?
Grizzly Smith.
How interesting. Okay.
And I was going to ask Jake, if you hated him so much, how did you go work for the WWE then?
I would have loved to have heard his answer.
When I'm watching this documentary, I'm like, can someone ask him this question?
Right.
Because clearly Grizzly Smith was a devil in a lot of ways.
Sure.
But let's be honest,
I can see why you would say that.
Jake was equally not a good guy.
I can see why you would say that.
Right?
I'm not disagreeing with anything here.
So I just thought to myself, well, is it just when it comes to money, nothing else matters? It doesn't matter that your mother was raped. And by the way, after Grizzly leaves the mother, he hooks up with another lady who's Robin Smith's mother. And Robin Smith's mother supposedly raped Jake. All shit you probably heard.
Right.
And again,
you know why these things are never asked?
Why?
Because we put false idolatry on guys like him. You would have the balls to ask him. I would have the balls to let you ask him.
You would ask him.
You know I would. I figured I'd throw a joke in. But I mean, to be very honest, how many Monte and the Pharaohs are there?
By the way, I just want to
read
something.
There ain't that many people going to just
Lou
ask
says him. It's simple.
There's not that many people
to advance
just ask him.
your career, Monte. I get
of
that.
Of course.
But
that's
then
whole,
you can't go on
documentary
documentary saying how much you hate somebody because clearly you didn't hate them enough.
To stay away from them?
No, you didn't.
Cha-ching!
Hate them. That's it.
But like you said, advance. That's the bottom line. Advance.
I get it. That would be the simplest answer.
Right.
And I would say to himself, so not only did you pray to the devil, you basically sold your soul to the devil.
Yeah. How'd that turn out, though?
What did
I mean, as far as life goes, forget that he got booked to the top of the class. Who gives a fuck? How'd that turn out for him? Ultimately, that whole lifestyle, that work out well for his health?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
But then again, we keep on talking about the WWF days. You heard Missy Hyatt say she was partying way back then in the WCCW days.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I never liked Jake as a wrestler. I
love
didn't.
Missy, but
I know you did. I did
Missy.
too.
Oh God.
I never liked Jake as a wrestler, and I never liked him as a human being. Did I find him entertaining? Yes. I could tell you guys a story. I was just telling my wife. Back in the day, they had the wrestling hotlines where you'd call, and God knows how much you paid.
Did you get in trouble?
I didn't.
Because my parents saw that shit on the phone bill, and
how
they were
much
like,
was it?
Dude.
How much was it?
Yeah, but if I say how much it was today, people will laugh.
No, I want to know.
That phone call cost, if you stayed on the line, and then you kept calling again because it was so cool. I remember one point my parents almost murdered me because I had $15 worth of fun. And $15.
That's a lot of money.
In 1982.
A lot of money.
Or 83 or whatever year it was, which was maybe like $65.
That's a lot of money.
Today. You know what I'm saying? My parents were like, what the fuck? Whoa, who are you calling? I'm like, I'm calling the wrestling hotline.
Right.
And they were like, rah? And they threw me out of the house. Because I went rah.
Because you went rah. I remember one of the first calls I made was Jake Roberts was on there.
Yeah.
And he was smoking. You could hear him smoking a
a
cigarette. And he was making it clear that you could hear he was smoking a cigarette.
Right.
And I was flabbergasted.
Fucking funny.
I was flabbergasted.
Yeah. I did like Jake's character. I was a fan of Jake Roberts, but I wasn't a huge fan. He didn't enter Greg Valentine.
Lou says
area.
he cost his father $250 in 1992 from the Honky Tonk Man's hotline.
Honky
Tonk Man's hotline.
Loose rocks. That's awesome.
I was in
What did the honky tonk man say? By the way, send us a message. I would love to know what cost you all this money. What was he saying? Like, what is the honky tonk man's hotline? What does he say?
I have no idea.
I'm cool. I'm cocky. I'm bad. Click.
Click.
$20.
Call back later.
Shit, that's all. You call back.
Jason says, I found Paul Stanley's backing track controversy entertaining.
Yeah, it's a shame, though, man. Because, by the way, Paul Stanley is very underrated. In his prime, that guy was a majestic vocalist.
And by the way, I wanted to finish up with the Jake thing. I was talking to
day.
somebody on the phone today who's an older guy, and he was speaking about wrestling, and we always talk about these wrestling experts. And, and I was telling the story about Lanny Poffo. And I was telling the story, we got a lot of shit from people when we did a Kamala tribute show.
That was Lanny's opinion.
Well,
and we got all the shit.
We had Lanny called in.
That was Lanny's opinion.
Lanny pretty much
roasted him.
You could see it on the channel.
Yeah,
Look it up.
He roasted him, but he told the truth.
But,
this was what Lanny recalled.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
All the wrestling experts who were offended
all
by
attacked
that,
us. And
attacked us.
Had no problem doing business with Lanny, though.
Exactly.
Fucking
So
hypocrite.
going back to the thing is like when it comes to
Yeah.
this fake ideology of these guys.
Idolatry.
Yeah.
But I got you.
Well, let's not forget about Jimmy Snuka, for example.
Right.
Look, I'm going to say it right here. Jimmy Snuka was a murderer, dude. He's as bad as Chris Benoit.
He shouldn't have had a career after 1982.
No, he should not have. He should not have. And for anyone to idolize Jimmy Snuka, look, great, he jumped off the top rope. He was fantastic. Jimmy Snuka was as bad as Chris Benoit. Okay.
No.
Well,
you know what, though? In the eyes of the Lord,
yes,
it's all the same.
Gotcha.
To the eyes of the Lord.
Okay, so he didn't
But to me, killing your entire flipping family.
All right, so Benoit
putting
thought about
Bibles over there and stuff
Benoit
like that.
thought about it.
That is
Snuka
just...
was
Benoit
anger.
up here in hell. Jimmy somewhere probably, not that I know where the heck they
But let me ask you this. Does it
don't.
kind of even out?
Okay, I'm not claiming that.
Does it even out, though? Because Benoit knows he did something wrong and kills himself. Meanwhile, Snuka just flat out denies it.
I think that as far as... Are you asking me what's worse?
I'm not asking you what's worse. All I'm saying is they're both murderers, right?
Yes, absolutely. I feel O.J.
planned it, one didn't.
O.J. Simpson's a murderer. What do I know? I don't know what I know. I don't know what I know. But sometimes people are able to slip through the cracks. I mean, Charles Manson didn't touch anybody. He's a murderer. He didn't even touch anybody. I don't know.
All right, moving on.
Yeah. I say Charlie. You move on fast. You're like, Charlie.
I'm not a big fan of Charlie.
Charlie likes
crazy.
you. What's the problem?
Yeah.
Helter Skelter.
Come on, Marty. Put a swastika.
Did you ever
on
see
you.
the movie Helter Skelter?
Yes,
It was
I did.
excellent. The original movie from '73.
With due respect, Charles Manson.
Just a dirtbag.
No, he was
scumbag.
He was a genius in a lot of ways.
He's very twisted,
which is very scary.
I know it is. Well, there's others like him. There are,
which is very scary.
It is.
So
it is scary.
Pharaoh and I were talking earlier about we got 4 weeks away from Mania, and we haven't heard a thing about the Hall of Fame.
I know, very strange.
So I put a list together. My thoughts from reading dirt sheets and my ideas. And I said, I'm going to put a list together. And I just want Pharaoh to weigh in if he thinks it's going to happen this year. All right?
Yeah, I'm just reading a little bit ahead. Go ahead.
So I put it in the list of the probability in my mind. Again, this doesn't mean any of these people are getting in or any of these people aren't getting in or there's even an invitation. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so the first up is Batista.
Yeah, he's in. I think he's getting in this year.
And you think they're going to name him in?
Yeah, I think he's going in this year. It makes sense. They're in Hollywood. And yeah, it makes sense. I'd go with Batista.
Lex Luger.
He should be in the Hall of Fame already. Will they do it? I think he's got a good shot. I think he's got a good shot this year.
Do you think? So you think he's going to get in there?
The odds are, I think, more in his favor than ever that he would get in. I would hope so. He should get in.
Michelle McCool. Now, there's a lot of dirt sheets that are even naming.
Are they
all these
saying
people
that
too.
she's getting in?
No one is saying anything. They're saying probabilities.
Michelle McCool sounds like a WWE pick for the Hall of Fame.
And, Undertaker.
Right.
That type. His Undertaker will, that's how you get the Undertaker involved. He'll probably introduct her.
Right. I could see that.
Umaga.
He should be in this year. This is it. Put him in now. We got the bloodline. You got the whole tribal thing going on. Yeah, get him in. He should be in.
All right, and then Dark Horse. Well, not really a Dark Horse. Midnight Express.
They should be in. They should go in this year. They should have gone in years ago.
Now there's a bunch of
With
midnight.
Jim Cornette, by
there's
the
so
way.
many Midnight Expresses.
Well, you
though.
got Condrey and Eaton. You got what was it, Eaton and Lane? And how many?
And you
more
know
do
what? Just
got?
is, again, Spidey's not a huge wrestling fan. Bart Gunn was on the Midnight Express. You remember that?
Every time I think of Bart Gunn, I think of Butterbean.
I got
so
you.
I'm just.
But I'm just saying that was Jim Cornette's new Midnight Express.
Right, that was the last. That
was the
gasp.
last one.
The last gasp. No, it should be the Midnight Express. Actually, 3 guys: Condrey, Eaton, Lane. That to me is the.
So
Midnight
then you would
Express.
have to have Condrey and Lane and Cornette come.
And Bobby to me is the greatest member of all of them from the Midnight
Bobby's
Express.
gone.
Right,
Yeah.
he can't be there.
All right, last but not least, I need you to weigh in as Big Ron Shaw.
For the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I'm afraid to say no because he's been spinning lately. I don't know what to say here. I mean, he is a Hall of Famer, but it's at the IWF Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
It's not the WWE Hall of Fame. You know what though? Do they put have they put jobbers in before? Like Johnny Rodz is in, and I don't even consider him.
Fair enough, yeah.
I mean, he's got a shot.
Stinger says don't forget about Hannibal.
You know what I would love? What? Hannibal? Everyone's forgotten about Hannibal. Have you seen him lately?
Yeah, where is that guy?
By the way, you know who I think they should induct this year? I'm being serious. Just for shock factor and fuck you factor to AEW. CM Punk.
Wow, that'd be pretty crazy.
Think about it.
That'd be pretty good.
Pharaoh's got some ideas.
But I don't think WWE wants to do it, nor do I think CM Punk wants to be in it.
I don't think so for either of them, but I think that would be fucking...
Remember what Rob Van Dam
Could you
said?
imagine if they did that?
It'd be pretty cool.
Could you imagine? What would Tony Khan do?
He'd con it.
He would be so pissed.
All right, quick, another episode of Dear Pharaoh.
Oh, no.
Are you ready?
No, we're really doing this?
Yeah,
Again?
another episode
Wait
of
a
Dear
minute,
Pharaoh.
the people
I'm going to milk
want-
this cow.
Oh, boy.
People love Dear Pharaoh, right? Jared, you like Dear Pharaoh?
Come on, guys. Don't make me do
I
this.
love Dear Pharaoh.
You love Dear Pharaoh? You know, Spidey, you haven't helped me once today. You just keep pouring it into Mike and just, leaving me with the leftovers here. Dear
right.
Pharaoh.
Are you ready?
No, I'm not ready.
Hold
I
on.
think we're going to do Dear Spidey.
Dear Spidey.
Dear Spidey, my bunghole hurts. Am I having too
I
much
can
anal
give my
sex?
2 cents.
Oh, yeah, you put it his
Am I
2
having
cents.
too much?
He's ready. He's
All right.
ready for his own
Dear
advice
Pharaoh.
column. Yeah.
I work with my husband in retail merchandising.
Good for you.
A woman on our team is a few years younger, and I am very touchy and is very touchy-feely with my husband. She whispers in his ear and stands very close to him. My husband says that may just be the way she is. I told him he is wrong because he doesn't do it when her boyfriend is around, and she doesn't do it to anyone else. How should I handle this? From Upset in Florida.
Okay, upset in Florida. Well, here's problem number 1. What the fuck are you doing working with your husband? That's just bad right off the bat. Number 2, are you in charge of your husband? If you are in charge of your husband, then you're probably in charge of the chick who's flirting with him. Fire them both. It's a bad idea. I'm telling you to fire your husband. It's a bad idea. You guys shouldn't be working together. Don't mix your peanut butter with the chocolate. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. You think it's a good idea for a husband and wife to be working together in retail merchandising? It sounds like a fucking nightmare.
I have a feeling that husband's cheating on her.
Oh, he absolutely is.
It
I
is.
loved how he was just like, oh, that must be the way she normally is.
But
Whispering at
how
people's-
about how he lets it happen anyway?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's a whore. Yeah, your husband's a
All
whore.
right.
Fire him
Moving on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dear Pharaoh, I'm not having much luck on the dating scene.
What?
I've tried a number of dating apps. I get quite nervous, so often throw up before the date. My date usually throws up after the date. Any suggestions?
Yeah, paint a little face on your hand, give it a name, and get to know it better, because you are a lost cause.
That's it.
That's it.
No help.
No help. You ain't getting any help.
Wow.
You throw up before the date, and then your date throws up after. Someone's trying to tell you something. Just hang out with your hand.
All right, the last Dear Pharaoh of the night.
Yeah, go
Dear
ahead.
Pharaoh, I'm a man who has been wearing lingerie for the past few decades.
Okay.
I discovered my love for panties when I was slipped in my first pair at 17. At 22, I discovered the fun and sexiness of bras and other lingerie.
Oh, man.
And I wear them under my men's clothes. I have gone through periods of love and alternating shame for being an underdresser. I have confided this to a few women in my life and received mixed responses. Some were appalled, others were okay with it. My wife is in the first category. I told her while we were dating and modeled some for her. She thought it was weird.
Very interesting.
All right, hold on. I tried for her sake to repress my desire to wear lingerie, but it has returned recently. I have been buying panties, bras, and other items to wear them only at work and when I'm alone. I have found some solace in finally opening up to the women at lingerie stores that what I am buying is for me, and I delight in the fact that they are accepting and help me find items I may like. How do I approach this subject with my wife again? And I ask her if she's open to me wearing lingerie more often. From Living in Lingerie.
Where did you get this one? This is a very strange one. This person is just too fucking weird for me to even want to give advice to. This is fucking weird. Okay, well, obviously you're having a problem getting your gimmick over. But if you read this carefully, you already have it right here. You need to become a pro wrestler, audition with Shawn Michaels at NXT, and it's obvious. Call yourself the underdresser.
I like it.
It's perfect. Then you become famous.
Dress in peace.
Dress in peace. Absolutely. You become famous. Your gimmick gets over. And now the weirdness thing translates to money and success. They'll all want to do you.
And you could wear it all the time.
Yeah.
Because that's your gimmick.
That's it. You're in. The
Pharaoh,
underdresser.
This is why Dear Pharaoh is one of the top things.
Dress
all right,
in
we got about
peace.
8 minutes left. So we're going to get into one more episode of Head to Head, and we're going to call it a night. And then we'll see you all back on Thursday and then Saturday with Sinister Minister. Are you ready?
No, because then I have to remember all the categories, and I don't even know if Spidey has them up.
He'll put them up.
All right, well, let's do head-to-head tonight. We are going to have, I tell you what. You haven't said it yet, right?
Yep, I have not.
Okay, we'll do the rules first. Category number 1, mic skills. Can you blah, blah? Are you engaging? Are you gripping? Are you the underdresser? I don't know. That's mic skills. Can you talk? If you can't, I'm changing the channel. All right, let's go to mat skills. Category number 2. Hey, just like I watched WrestleMania 12 the other day. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. Need I say more? Do you have mat skills? Category number 3, the it factor. Well, once again, you can have a Goldberg, you can have a Hogan, or you can have the opposite. I always seem to be missing a name when I think about a blah guy.
Right.
You know, maybe the underdresser would be that blah guy.
Yep.
Who knows? But do you have the it factor? Category number 4, the back of the baseball card. Give me your resume.
Got it.
Give me your resume. Belts, championships, money in the banks, all sorts of other stuff. Hey, I'll take Japan. At least I will. I don't know about him. All right, category number 5 is impact on the industry. Overall impact on the business. Once again, the Hulkster. Hey, Bruno, you had an impact on this business. Not as much as the Hulkster. And that is head to head. And this week it will be
Jon Moxley.
Dean Ambrose.
Either or.
Okay.
Against the great Abdullah the Butcher.
Dude, I love this matchup. This is crazy. I don't even know what we're going to do with this one.
All right, let's go.
Wait a second. This might be a landslide. Mic skills? Abdullah doesn't have any mic skills. He never talked.
Yep. So
all right, there's one for Moxley.
So I agree. Moxley's got
all
him on
that's
mic
easy
skills.
enough.
That's really easy.
He's got him on mic skills. Mat skills. Don't tell him. Stop it. This goes to Moxley also.
Wow, this is not such a good matchup.
This is not such a good matchup.
Wow, okay.
But you know what's funny? I would love to see the match because I think Abdullah will win.
That's so true.
That's Abdullah in his prime would beat John Moxley.
2-0. 2-0 on Moxley.
Okay, all right. Is it it factor? Let's go with it factor.
All right.
Abdullah.
Agreed.
Abdullah's got more.
Now, people would probably argue that.
Of
but
course,
I agree.
today's generation would, but people
I
don't
agree 100%.
People don't understand that Abdullah the Butcher was a specialist like Andre, like Bruiser Brody. That guy was a traveling show. Abdullah the Butcher's special. Okay, special. And every bloody match you see today, every gouging moment, that guy's the template. Sorry.
How do you think if Hogan got what he wanted, and Abdullah came here and wrestled Hogan at WrestleMania 2?
I would have loved it. I mean, I did love Bundy. Let's not say Bundy was not a success. That was fantastic, but I would have loved to have seen Hogan versus Abdullah or Hogan versus Brody somewhere in those early years.
I will tell you,
Brody would have been
for
fire.
me personally, I have a man cave, and I only have my favorite wrestlers on the wall. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and one I don't have because you try to get an autographed picture of the guy, it's impossible. It's worth $1 million, is Kerry Von Erich, right? You know how much I love Kerry Von Erich, right?
Is it very difficult to track down an autograph from him?
For an 8x10 of Kerry Von Erich.
And how do you know it's authentic?
Authenticated. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Is about $1,400 for an 8x10.
I believe it. I believe it. He's been dead a long time, and he may have died before the big convention crazes and autograph crazes. I would say, get it. If it's authentic, get it. It's worth it if that's what you're into.
Barry Windham's one of my favorite, but he's not on my wall. But one guy that's on my wall is Nikita Koloff.
Okay.
I would have loved to see Nikita Koloff and Ivan Koloff, WrestleMania 2, Russia against America. It was during the Rocky V time.
Oh, it would have been great.
How hot would that have been?
It would have been great.
It was Rocky V. Well,
yeah.
Rocky IV, I'm sorry. Yeah. It was during the Rocky IV. That
Rocky
thing could have
IV
been
was 1985.
It could have been so hot.
That would have been great. Nikita Koloff, Hogan.
Oh my God.
That would have been great. Forget Ivan.
Well,
Unless
Ivan would be his manager.
Yeah, let him stand in the corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would have been fantastic. Nikita Koloff was goods.
He was.
He was the goods in his prime, man. What a big dude. Oof. That would have been fantastic.
All right, so we got 2-1 right now.
Yeah, we got 2-1 for Moxley. Back of the baseball card. Well, that's unfortunate. John's going to win this one, too. John's won the competition.
You think? Why?
What are you going to tell me? He was champion of Puerto Rico, WWE. No. John Moxley has a better back of the baseball card. That's all there is to it. He's been WWE champion. He's been AEW. There's no contest.
All right, that's fair.
It's unfortunate, but it's true.
All right, so then it's 3-1, final influence on the industry.
That goes to Abdullah.
Blowout.
Yeah, it's a blowout.
That's not even close.
It's a blowout. And quite honestly, if they faced each other in their prime, Abdullah's winning the match anyway. So I think Abdullah was greater than
It's kind of funny.
What do I know? I think Abdullah was greater than John Moxley.
We got Moxley winning.
Yeah, we do. But I still have more respect for Abdullah.
But you have more respect for Abdullah.
Absolutely. But that's what makes this competition interesting. You know, I got a channel I love watching where they take two albums and they do track by track.
Right.
And sometimes the album that you like more because it's track by track doesn't win.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a second, what the fuck? That album's so much better.
Right.
But it's just the luck of the draw. That's almost what makes this contrast interesting with head to head. So yeah, I got way more respect for Abdullah the Butcher. That's annoying me that John Moxley won.
And honestly,
I'm annoyed.
Well, you know what? Now that I think about it, it factor and influence on the industry is so far different. But then again, Mike skills, wrestling, and back of the baseball card is a blowout too.
Right. But you know what? At the end of the day, what is the thing that most of these wrestlers say to us about the belts? They didn't care. Remember?
Yeah.
They all say that. I don't care if I had a belt or not.
By the way, R.J. Hudson makes a really good comment. I guess Moxley would bleed in that match too. Yeah, but the difference is R.J.
really bleed.
He would really get gigged by Abdullah, and you wouldn't see Moxley doing that bullshit.
Abdullah would have let him slide if he threw those bullshit punches with Abdullah. Abdullah fuck him up. He'd like, that's not how you throw a punch, you prick. You're going to make me look good.
Damn straight.
You know.
All right, we're going to call it a night. I want to thank everybody for joining us again. We've got Sinister Minister on Saturday. Thursday's show is set, but I don't know who we're going to have. I'm going to try to get us a little guest. I want to get a couple guests in. Any special questions you're going to ask Sinister Minister?
I ain't going to ask him which side of the plate he hits from. You wackadoo. I'm not doing that.
What is the thing with Pharaoh enjoying Sinister Minister so much?
I always thought he was a good talker. I just like evil characters.
Was he in the WWE?
I remember him more from Impact, unless I'm imagining things.
No, you're right. But was he in the WWE? Though?
If he was, it's not sticking out to me. It's not something that
it.
jumps out in my memory. No.
Well, you remember him with Mortis, right?
Mm-hmm.
in WCW.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Mortis. What did you think of Mortis? I was there with Mortis.
Dude, so much stuff is a blur.
So many
and
wrestlers.
so many things.
So
I'm
many
like,
wrestlers.
Look, guys, before we go, I was looking at YouTube. Jason, thank you so much, my friend. I was looking at YouTube. There was a boxing match between Evander Holyfield and Matt Hardy on Saturday night's main event.
I remember nothing of it.
I do not remember that at all. Does anyone remember that?
Evander Holyfield's not engaging. He was Tyson's bitch in real life. They should have fought in a back alley someplace with no rules. Headbutting.
J.A.
prick.
Will, if I could get Iceman, you know what, dude? J. Will just said something.
What's that?
You should get Iceman King Parsons.
That'd be cool.
Dude, I got to tell you what.
That'd be cool.
I'm going to make it my mission this week to get in touch with Iceman and see if he'll come on.
That'd be very cool. I would like that.
How fucking great was Iceman King Parsons?
Pretty great. Pretty great.
Dude, WCCW fucking was so
you really
good,
love
dude.
Texas wrestling,
Oh,
don't
my
you?
God.
Have you been to Texas?
Many times, yeah.
You like Texas?
I love Texas.
They're good to you, huh?
They're good
They
to me.
fucking hated me.
I know, you told me that.
Yeah, man. I'm just not the...
But I would tell you this. If I had my druthers, I'd move to California.
I lived in California. You don't want to live there.
Why?
I just think the people there are full of shit. The people I remember being around in California, you know?
Yeah, but you and that whole rock thing going on there.
Would you really have a great time with the political climate in California? You'd have a ball, huh?
I'd have a ball in the weather.
In the weather. Just don't turn on the TV. You'll be
Jared,
fine.
appease me on this one thing. Before we go, I always wanted to ask you this. You played the whiskey.
Yeah.
And you played
CBGBs.
CBGBs.
Yeah.
What was the difference between the whiskey and CBGBs? And then you could send us on our way.
Good question. Well, when you walk into them...
Is it weird I never ask you these questions when we're off?
Yeah, well, when you walk into them, you look around and you go, this is the great whatever, you know? And then when you sing on a sound system like a CBGB's, you realize why it's so great. Because it's actually the equipment and the people that were employed there to do the sound. That's what really made those places happening, is that they had the businesses were run correctly. And you had the right producer. Didn't matter what style the band was. You were able to fucking nail it right away. And trust me, in 1968, 69, there's a difference between Led Zeppelin coming through those doors or the Doors.
Gotcha.
They sound a little different from each other, you know? So the producers were able to, you know...
What were you more nervous playing, the whiskey or CBD?
CBGB's, because I knew that we were... See, CBGB's is known as a famous punk club.
Sure.
And we were a rock band. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't sure what we were walking into. I was like, you know, am I walking into Friendly Fire? Am I walking into, you know, someplace that will embrace us? But it was cool. It was just a great place. And I knew right away the moment I sang on that sound system, I was like, oh, my God. This must be why this place is what it is.
So the whiskey doesn't compare to CBGBs. CBGBs. Jesus Christ.
Oh, well, I think CBGBs was the shit. I just never sang on such a great sound system. I was like, oh, my God. It really was amazing.
See, to me, like, now, I always think of myself like the whiskey.
The whiskey's more important in my mind. Now, I'm showing favoritism to the bands of those
So that's why
period.
someone like me thinks of the whiskey.
The whiskey, I think, is more important historically. Because, I mean, if I have to make a choice, and I could see a huge argument coming from either side, okay? But the whiskey was the birth of more than one generation. The whiskey had many great acts come through there during the 60s, during the heyday of that whole scene of the 60s, okay? And then in the 80s, the whiskey went Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses.
Right.
I mean, like, it had multiple generations of greats come through it. CBGB's is primarily remembered for Blondie and the Ramones and that time period, but nothing.
Police?
The Police? No. Yeah. Not as much. No. Not CBGB's, no.
They played there.
They might have played there, but they're not known to have been part of the
It's
scene there.
Gotcha.
They came and went because the Police were busy becoming world phenoms anyway. But they all became world phenoms. I mean, but the Ramones and Blondie and a band called Television. I don't know if you...
Yep,
you know, there was a lot of...
Television never made it, though, right?
No, not big time. Not big time, but they certainly...
Good band,
they certainly knew they were the kings of their area.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty... Let me tell you, I mean, just being Once upon a time, the Kings of Long Island. It's not such a bad thing, bro.
Not bad.
It wasn't bad.
All right, guys, thanks
You know?
for joining us, and I will work on Iceman King Partons. R.J. Hudson says, didn't Metallica and Motorhead play the whiskey?
Right. Yeah.
Could you imagine if you went to the whiskey every night, what bands you saw?
Dude, I lived there. I lived in Hollywood during the 80s. I mean, the place is not very long, but long enough to fucking know what's going on around there. That was
and
insane.
Jay Will says, what about Jim Bob and Mary Ellen?
What about Jim Bob and Mary Ellen? What about them?
What were we talking about? Why is he bringing up
I have no
the
idea.
Waltons? All right, this has been Mike Monte.
This has been Jimmy Pharaoh. We'll leave the light on for. What did they used to say at the end? Good night, Mike. Good night, Jared. Good night, Spidey.
Good night, Matthew.
Rest well, Matthew. Good night. Later.
Rest in peace, Matthew. May you wake up tomorrow.
You will wake up tomorrow, March 2nd.
Hopefully.
Is it March 2nd or March 3rd? Where are we?
March
3rd.
Hopefully you wake up. If you don't, we won't see you Thursday.
What?